Thank you everybody for TRIMET for being here. It's an honor to have you here and to be able to listen to us so we can have our say. I know when Bush was president, when we were undergoing the 7-to-7 deal where they were going to conceptually take away TRIMET parallel score from 7 to 7, I did a little bit of research. I'm afraid I'm not as up to date today as I was then. I know that I've ridden TRIMET since I was a boy. I grew up here out in Lake Oswego. I love the TRIMET system. I used to ride the 36. It's been a boon to the city. Portland is one of the top 10 environmental cities in the nation. Portland's per capita for TRIMET is actually rated in the top 10 in the nation as well. I know there are going to be some difficult times. I understand that there are the glitches with the gas prices and TRIMET buying so many shares of gas, it's so much a gallon, and then the gas went down again. Somehow, somewhere, I'm hoping the TRIMET can see a way to refund and keep as much of the lines active as possible. It's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful state. We need to keep TRIMET a viable option for everybody. In the economic times, she is right. We need transportation as much as possible. It's a shame people are forgetful when gas goes down and they go back to their cars. So I know TRIMET took a hit on ridership after the gas went back down again. I apologize for that. If I could have changed it, I would have. Unfortunately, I didn't have the power as just a single citizen to do that. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Speaker 39, Jackie Lerner Aderman.
Hello, I'm Susan Riding. I'm here to talk about bus line 41. Kind of a synchronicity that I got that number. I live in Sellwood. I've been riding TRIMET, and I appreciate TRIMET a lot, and I'm glad that you have this public hearing. But I really want to urge you to keep some kind of service for those of us in Sellwood to get downtown to our jobs and back again. We've already had much of our service cut, and I encourage you to keep at least some kind of service for us to get downtown. I'm going to be brief. I want to give everybody else a chance, and I do appreciate you having this public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Pat Turner, and I'm here for line 33. That's my lifeline. I'm 84, and I go all over town on TRIMET, and I really appreciate the connections that we can make. But if they take it as far as Emmanuel Hospital, we're sunk. We'd have to change to the 4 or the 44. So I live on the 33 line since 78. And I'd appreciate whatever you can do for us. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Fred Nussbaum, N-U-S-S-B-A-U-M. And yes, I'm related to the other fellow that was here, although I didn't coach him on what he had to say. I'm here representing the Association of Oregon Rail Transit Advocates. We've been around since 1976, representing users, consumers of public transportation systems and trying to improve them in Oregon and in the TRIMET region and throughout the country. Cutting service should be the absolute last thing you do in trying to save your budget. TRIMET's mission is to provide the best public transportation it can. And until the TRIMET has proven that it has cut the general fund monies that it uses for non-operational and non-maintenance uses, we don't think we should be talking about cuts in service. Now, every time TRIMET does a capital project, there has to be a local match. And that local match, in part, can come from the only sources of revenue that TRIMET has, which is the payroll tax, which I pay as a small businessman, by the way, and fares. So every time TRIMET goes off and does a project that is not really priority project, that's taking money away from the transit service. And so let's see that has been, those monies have been cut first. Defer some of those projects, or don't do them at all, and use that money for service, which is what TRIMET is all about. TRIMET should also be looking at maximizing its fare revenue. Too often, because fare revenue right now is down to about 25%. that's not considered in these discussions. Every time you cut service, ridership drops by more than the percentage that you cut the service. If you cut the service in half, you're going to lose more than half of the ridership. That does make a difference. So TRIMET ought to be focusing on improving ridership and improving fare revenue by reallocating service and restructuring routes in a way that serves the people better and not cutting service. We have 4 comments on specific lines here that I've included in a handout that Mr. Hansen and his folks have there, so I won't go into a lot of detail. They're just 4 examples. Obviously, there are a lot of things that we do not agree with in the way services is run, and you've heard from people that are on those lines talking about the same thing, so I won't belabor the point. In conclusion, then, the board is not convinced that TRIMET has proposed all the cuts that it can for non-operational, non-service type expenditures. The last time TRIMET was in this place, I was working for TRIMET as a service planner. That was back in the early 80s. And TRIMET did not recover from those cuts until well after the economy improved. So doing these cuts now is not only bad for the riders, it's bad for TRIMET. So make those other cuts first, and then work on making the service better. Thank you.
Speaker 44, Jason.
Hello, my name is Jason Solomon, S-O-L-O-M-O-N. I've been a TRIMET rider for about 10 years. About 5 years ago, I sold both of my vehicles and have been completely dependent on TRIMET now. I use it to take me and my family to and from work and to play, and I cannot tolerate any cuts to any of the lines. Portland is a model city. The Tri-County area is a model location for public transportation that works and is efficient and provides people with viable means to get to and from. You can actually live and work in this city without a vehicle. These cuts are